Magnificent masculinity. Strange pairing of words, right? That's because we've been taught that masculinity is anything but magnificent. We've been told it's dangerous, oppressive, something to fix or erase. But what if we've been lied to? What if masculinity, true, original masculinity, isn't the problem? What if it's actually the solution? Because here's the truth that no one is saying out loud. When you tear down men, you tear down families. When you silence masculinity, chaos steps in. And unless we push back now, we lose something that we may never get back. So here's the problem. Masculinity has been hijacked. Our culture frames masculinity as being dangerous, harmful, and toxic, and no doubt you've heard that kind of language, that somehow masculinity is the problem. It's the source of all evils. Even the media and entertainment have painted masculinity as the problem. In fact, it feels like an orchestrated exercise on behalf of those agencies to gang up on masculinity. You rarely hear the phrase magnificent masculinity anymore. You might have never heard that. In fact, when I said that at the start, it might have shocked you. But I want to bring the truth that true masculinity actually is magnificent. It used to be something to aspire to, not something to apologize for. But that's what's going on in our world today. Men are being pushed so aggressively into a corner of irrelevance that they're being told they should apologize for being a man and for being here. Masculinity has gotten rebranded with this warning sign, this label that says, look out, toxic, there's a male nearby. And somehow it means that every single male is a potential threat to your safety and your being and your place in the world, when actually the opposite of that is the truth. We've been told a lie in regard to what masculinity is about and its place in our society. And here's the deal. When men start to believe that they are the problem, they stop showing up as the solution. And it's why we've got to have these conversations. We need men to re-engage with their masculinity and realize they are part of the solution. What we've seen in recent times is a cultural shift that has pushed this idea that masculinity equals oppression somehow. We know as men that nothing could be further from the truth, but actually this shift has taken place right before our very eyes. And bad behaviour by some men has been used to define and label all men. And this is the fight that we've got to stay true to, because those statements are not the actual realities, they're not the actual truth. What we're dealing with is the fact that the smear campaign actually worked, because men haven't pushed back enough. Men have been listening and watching and observing how they've been told they are the problem, they're the reason things are bad, and it's been such a shock collectively. Men haven't known how to push back, but because they haven't pushed back, the smear campaign has been somewhat successful. And now what we see instead, we see men walking on eggshells at home, we see fathers who are afraid to lead, we see husbands who are afraid to speak, and we see our young men feeling ashamed, confused, and directionless, and not really knowing what it means to be a masculine man. Hey guys, if you're enjoying what you're hearing today and you'd love to hear more about it and take a deeper dive into some of these subjects around the masculine journey and how you apply that to your everyday life, I'd love you to join my newsletter that I started recently. I call it Original Masculinity Letters to Men. I want to inspire you on your masculine journey. There's a link in the description below and you can click that and subscribe to the newsletter. Original masculinity has built nations, it's defended the weak, and it's bled for others. Why? Because it's sacrifice. It's about generosity. It's about giving. It's about going the second mile. It's about being the protector of those who've been bullied. It's about being that father who works multiple jobs to provide for his family. It's about the man who takes the weight on their own shoulders that others are trying to avoid. That's the truth about what real masculinity is. And I know that's the truth of where most of you men are living every single day. That's your reality. That's how you view your masculinity. That's what it means. That's the definition for you of what it means to be a man. We have to keep on reframing and rephrasing and speaking up and speaking out loud about what true masculinity is, and keep on pushing on that message and not give up and not quit, not be content just to sit in the corner because there's a few angry people who don't like maleness and have been damaged by one bad man. We have to keep on speaking up for the cause of masculinity, not just for us. Actually, it's bigger than that. For the cause of a better world that can be better because of the presence of true masculinity. As I say on this channel all the time, true masculinity, or the way I phrase it, original masculinity, is all about protection, provision, and empowerment. That's what we do as men. We protect those that we love and care about. We provide for them and we do our part. We're contributors, we're not consumers, and we empower. Nothing makes a good man happier than to see those that he loves doing the best they can in their life. Here's the truth, men. Masculinity is not toxic. It's magnificent and noble. Here's the real shift we need to see happen. We don't need less masculinity, we need more. Culture tells men they've got to be soft, they've got to be ashamed, they've got to be silent, they've got to just sit in the corner and stay irrelevant, and it's really pervaded every part of our society and our conversations. But here's the deal. Masculinity wasn't meant to be toxic or weak or silent or any of these things. True masculinity is strong and good. It's fierce and gentle. It's a leader who serves others by lifting them up. We've got so much work to do on reframing the narrative to take it back to the place where it was always meant to be. Men, we have been silent and quiet for far too long, and we've allowed people with a hateful agenda to set the tone and the narrative around men as a collective. And we are overdue for redefining and a renaissance, if you like, of pushing the conversation back to where it should have always been for everybody's benefit. As I said a moment ago, we don't need less masculinity. We need more of the right kind of masculinity, and that's being refined masculinity that is not removed, but is refined into the original definition, the good definition, the definition that benefits everybody. Here's the real solution. Magnificent masculinity starts with you. It's not enough for us just to talk about masculinity. We need to live it. We need to incorporate it into our daily lives. It needs to become a living, breathing part of who we are as men. You see, nobody is going to give us permission to reclaim it. Nobody's out there saying, hey guys, we've had the sway in the conversation for long enough, we're going to give it back to you now. No, the fact of the matter is you are going to have to take a stand for good, healthy, true masculinity. You will have to stand up and say, I want to reclaim this. I want to win this fight on defining who I am as a man. And the challenge that we've got, all of us, me included, is that we have to be unapologetically masculine. Stop apologizing for being a man. If you've gotten into that habit, I'm begging you, I'm urging you, stop it. Stop apologizing for your manhood. Your manhood is a good thing. We don't have to be aggressive, but we do have to be strong and responsible. You know, you've heard people talk about the fact that the aggression and the competitiveness, that they are expressions of toxicity. That is an absolute garbage. What we need as men is to be strong and powerful and know how to apply it at the right time in the right context. We don't need to be ego-driven, but we do need to be protective, we need to be present, and we need to be principled. We've got to build our masculinity on a framework of good character traits that benefit everyone. That way we can model it to our family, to our friends, if you have sons at home, or young men who look up to you for any reason. They are desperately craving an example of what good, healthy masculinity actually looks like. The kind of masculinity, as I keep on saying, that protects, provides, and empowers. It's not toxic, it's original, and we have to keep on going after it with all we've got. The fact of the matter is, the world is so much a better place when men show up in the way that they were created to. So, stop apologizing for your masculinity, embrace it, go after it, embellish it, and be the kind of man that is followable because you demonstrate to the world what it means to be a good, strong, masculine man.